Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 32 of the TheStockGuy AL3X Show, the podcast covering topics around this world, business, news, markets, money, and sports. When people talk about it, Stocky and I want to talk about it. This show can be listened to and watched on YouTube and Spotify, guys. So go download, go subscribe everywhere. And then also, guys, follow the show on all the socials, Twitter, Insta, LinkedIn, TikTok, everywhere. And today we are joined by the incredible BBXH. What's up, D?
Hi, thank you guys for having me on today.
Yep, Stocky and I are now into having guests join us. Last week was our first guest. It was Sarah from Madrina's. So she messed with Stocky. She messed with Stocky the whole time.
Of course she did.
The absolute whole time. So it was a great hour, but Sarah's now off to the Dominican Republic. She got that whole passport thing figured out, Stocky, that we were talking about last week, which is great. She's on vacation. So D, thank you for joining. Thank you for hanging for the next hour. Stocky, we were just talking about right before we went live about how this new format, this used to be like Stocky and I, we would talk for like an hour about 15 maybe different news articles that are going on in the world, some things that are really serious, a lot of different, things that were just breaking that day. And we try to go from topic to topic and article to article. And now we're at a point where we end up taking the hour and we just, he's smiling already. He knows, like we literally
because we used to do like a story and then we'd like, okay, we got to get to these stories. So let's do it. Let's have fun with it. But then we got to wrap it up, transition, next story. And it just felt like sometimes we were rushing, even though the transitions were the funniest part. So now we're like, you know what? Instead of 15 stories, here's 3. And I'm sure we'll get to at least one of them, but the rest of it's just us bullshitting, and it works.
The rest of us bullshitting. So D, thank you for putting up with it and for hanging with us today. Yeah. This is a big one, Stocky. This is the first time we've had a chance to sync up and talk since everything you just did over in the eastern part of this world. So is there anything you just want to like disclaim before we talk about it more? Because bro, like what the hell was going on?
I'm gonna say because I learned something with Sarah last time, and that's that we have to incorporate our people more. Okay, all right. But here's the thing: what happened in Amsterdam? All right, stayed in Amsterdam. Okay, I didn't get deported. I didn't get arrested. Okay, I got a lot of exposure to a lot of people that didn't know me, and more importantly, do you know who the real winner of all of this was?
Twitch.
Madrina's Coffee.
Oh, that's right. He was wearing the damn shirt.
I noticed that in those clips.
Yeah, man.
So here's the thing. Even if Madrina's doesn't sell a single cup of coffee or a single fueler this entire partnership for this whatever time frame we're in, they made their money back tenfold because one clip had 100 and something thousand views. Another one had 200,000 views. There's articles written about it. It's something I think Jake had 1.5 million people watch the stream of him and I for 4 hours. Like the amount of exposure they got. You're welcome. Okay, that's all I want to say about that. Is you got paid. You're welcome.
We got paid. Thank you, bro. Thank you for paying us. It's very kind of you. That's very, very kind. Okay, so
I got nothing out of it. Jake got so many views, so many subs, so many follows. I got nothing out of it. But you know what? It was a good experience. But yes, it was wild. The seagull thing, the Canada thing, whatever. I told you without getting too emotional here. The best part of TwitchCon, here's how I'm going to flip it on. Watch
He goes, you weren't ready, bro. You weren't ready.
My wife said that was her favorite part. And I said, you just wanted to marry a frat boy. But no, the best part, and I'm going to flip it on you. The best part of TwitchCon was all the people, because I told you, I went there and I went from door open to door closed at the convention. I said, I'm going to be there from close to open to close, just in case there's one person out there that wants to meet me and take a picture. Just in case there's one, because I owe everything to my community. And by the time I got to the main expo, the amount of people that stopped me for pictures and thank yous, stuff like I had to take a moment and go behind the scenes. I kind of choked up a little bit because I just didn't expect that. Now, I'm not going to get too sentimental here, but like, you know about my family history, Alex, and you know that everybody in my family has left a negative impact on this planet, and I just wanted to leave a neutral impact. And the amount of stuff that happened was insane, and it choked me up. And then when they had my meet and greet and all the people that came to see me, it was insane. It was something else. So that was awesome. And then I ruined it all with the seagull thing. But you know what? I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be
Listen,
back.
it's all on brand. You can't get too sentimental and emotional for too long. That ain't your brand, bro. That ain't your
But
brand.
you said you wanted to be neutral, so you had to balance out all the love with a little sass.
Well, no, you don't want to know the kind of shit my family's done. Like, if I'm going to go negative, it's going to be bad.
No, but you specifically be neutral.
Yeah, you are the neutral.
Yeah,
exactly. I did, though, have a wild experience trying to get back home, and I documented the whole thing on Twitter, and the whole world was watching this comedy of errors for me to get on a plane. Finally get back, get to Panama, and then I get stuck in Panama in the middle of protests and a revolution and almost didn't get home, but that's another story. But I'm glad to be back, and I'm looking forward to TwitchCon San Diego when I never thought I'd ever want to go to one of those cons. Are you going to be there, D?
I will be there.
Alex, are you going to be there?
I'm staying with D.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I guess is the Madrinas going to be doing a booth there?
We won't have a booth there, not this year.
Cheap ass.
Yeah, we won't.
Shirt.
We don't have a
Madrina's shirt.
No, I'm not wearing Madrina's shirt. I'm. Let's see. When does our contract end? April, May, June,
he's
July,
absolutely going to wear
September.
Madrina's shirt because I think that's all he has in his wardrobe at this point. I don't know what he's wearing right now, but that's like the only other thing.
This is from 2016, and I still have it.
Oh
So beyond that Gary Johnson shirt, which we both talked about, we both voted for Gary Johnson that year. Beyond that Gary Johnson shirt, the rest of his clothes, like Superman, it's just Madrina's shirts in there. He opens up his closet. So he's going to have no other choice.
It's actually true. But no, have you ever been to a TwitchCon, D?
Oh, yeah. I've been to all of them since 2016.
Wait, did you go to TwitchCon EU?
No.
No, it's just all the TwitchCon,
all
like
in the States.
all the US.
I was going to say, I didn't see you there. Okay.
No,
so
I wasn't there.
Let me ask you this, since you are the resident expert here. What should I expect at TwitchCon US?
Ooh, a lot of people.
Popping my cherry at this one. I mean, I've been to TwitchCon EU, but the EU people were generally very nice. I'm not expecting that here.
Oh, everyone I feel like is always really nice, and people are, like you said, excited to meet you. It's a little awkward sometimes, it's hard as a streamer sometimes because we know, or they know us, right? They watch us, they know our personalities, they know about our life because we tell our stories, but we don't know them other than their name and what they share with us. So, I mean, I've had people come up and they're like, hey, do you know who I am? I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know what you look like, but everyone's so nice. I will say I've never been to TwitchCon EU, but my guess is that here it's probably way bigger. So I went to TwitchCon in San Jose. I think that was 2017 or 2018.
No, that was 2018 because 2017 was Long Beach. 2017 was Long Beach. 2018 was San Jose, and then 2019 was San Diego, and then there hasn't been one since.
So
imagine if they did it in Vegas.
No.
It should be. That would be awesome.
San Francisco, I think, the very first in 2015.
The first one was that. Indeed, that's it.
I didn't go to that one.
That's the only one I haven't been to, also. So I don't know how that one went for people, but I know that of the others, San Diego is a city that's built for conventions. It's just 100%. So perfect for it. Long Beach and San Jose.
The convention center is so big.
Yeah, and the way it just pours out to downtown with all the restaurants and bars and stuff, it's really nice. So Stocky, you'll have a good time, man.
I'm still relatively new as a streamer, so this is my first year ever going because I didn't hit, big streamer, whatever status until 2020 with COVID. So I didn't have any of that. 2021, obviously everything was shut down. So this is my first time. I wish it would have happened last year when I was GameStop thing, but this is my first time of going as a known streamer, right? So like I'm just kind of going with it, and it's so weird for me because I started streaming so late in my life. Like this was never any type of plan of my life, and I've always struggled and done so much stuff in my life. So it's kind of like, okay, I understand this could be short-lived, so I kind of like go with a grain of salt. But I'm like pumped about it. But here's the thing. I was in Mission Beach, San Diego once when I was like 6 years old, for bad reasons, whatever. And so I'm going to go back there again. So Alex, D, we got to go one day, maybe on Monday, and go to Mission Beach and have a hot dog or something.
I'm in.
Ride the bikes along the beach.
Fight some homeless people. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to do.
Well, isn't it like 10 cities out there now?
Yeah. I was just there. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, I was in LA for the Streamer Awards, and I never had seen, and I was, long story about the LA, but I had never seen so many homeless people. Like I'd heard stories of it. I thought, they're exaggerating. That's just in Skid Row. No, it was everywhere.
California's overrun, dog. It is overrun with homeless, and it's really sad because you see it all over the place. And it's really bad where it's the worst in California is in downtown San Francisco, because downtown.
That's what I've heard.
It is. You have two types. To live in downtown San Francisco, you got to make like, I don't know, $200K a year. It is so expensive to live there, to do anything, just to get along. So you have so many people that are living in San Francisco that are, wealthy, affluent, make all this money, and then on the very flip side, there's no in between. On the very flip side is homeless people, and it's sad. You walk, and that's pretty much all you see is someone walking with, like, I don't know, some expensive ass suit, and then some other guy who's literally in his birthday suit. He's homeless, and I don't know what's going on. But like that's been my experience with San Francisco. Like, it's just so.
There's a poop tracker for San Francisco now. There's an app for that.
I feel like I've heard of this.
There's actually a tracker where people can identify and even take pictures and upload it to the app of where there's poop on the ground and the streets in San Francisco.
What? What's it called? What's the app called?
I don't know. I heard of it, but let me see. Hold on.
I've heard of this.
That's it's like Waze or
poop.
Waze.
It's like Waze or with Google.
With the poop.
Exactly.
It's called Snap Crap.
Okay, hold on. I'm pulling this up.
Clever.
Oh, but you said it's called Snap Crap.
That's true. I'm not even making it up. It's called Snap Crap.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. That's exactly what it is. Hold on. Here we go. I got to switch over. Here it is. Great. It says, this is an article on CNET. It says Snapcrap lets you take pictures of poop on sidewalks and report it to the city. Request sidewalk cleanings in San Francisco in a snap. It's literally built for San Francisco because there's so many homeless people. A new app called Snapcrap.
Are you looking at the picture of it?
What of the CNET article?
No, just this picture right here. Look at this. I'm gonna put it in the story ideas. Look at this. That's the actual picture from the app.
Oh
yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I have that. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, it's literally just showing there's just human poop right there.
Oh, I can put it in our little thing.
My God.
Okay, sorry.
I got it. No, I got it pulled up.
See, like on Google Images, it's got like on Google Maps, so it has a little red pinpoint, but they're all brown poop
instead
pinpoints.
of traffic. This is great.
So it says right here on the notification, it literally says 241 6th Street, I see poop, and it's a picture of human poop. Bro, how bad does it have to get for this to be the case, bro? How bad does it have to be? Can we build some public restrooms for these people or something, man? Like,
the public restrooms in Amsterdam were wild.
What happened?
Oh.
So like one of the things I did in Amsterdam was I played this game because when I'm by myself, I don't do it. But when I'm with somebody I don't know or somebody I'm just getting to know and we explore a city, I have this game I like to play, and it's called pick a street, right? So what you do is you go down the street of a city, and when you get to the end of the street and there's crossroads, you find a local or anybody walking by, and you look at them and say, "Hi, can you choose a direction for me?" And they'll be like, "What? Pick a street." And they'll just pick a random out of 5 streets, and you go down that street and you explore, and you've run into all kinds of crazy shit that you never experienced, and it's really cool. And so I had a good time with that. But I was following the canals for a little while, and like although everybody there owns a bicycle and a boat, it seems like. I mean, there was like beautiful houseboats on the sides of the canals where people were living in, and everybody was out partying on their boats, and kids were, like in their apartments, like hanging out by the canals and swimming in them and stuff like that. And oh my God, speaking of which, I lost a 1/10 of a star on my Uber app while I was there.
Oh,
that's a 1/10 of a star is hard to do.
I'll tell you why.
Unless you haven't been. How many rides do you have? Would you guess how many Uber rides?
Couple
would you
hundred.
Have? All right,
but
so you lost the 1/10 of a star, bro.
I think I was on the edge, but what happened was I had an Uber ride with a guy, and he was bringing me back from TwitchCon to my Airbnb, and I was looking around, and I was like, "There's just so many bicycles here. There's just bicycles everywhere. It's all it is." And he goes, "There are more bicycles than people," and I go, "That's awesome." I said, "That's just like America, but with guns."
Oh.
What did he say?
He said downvote.
It got quiet, and then I noticed my rating went down. So I thought it was funny at the time, but yeah. So I was watching the canals, and then as we're walking down the streets, and everybody's like pointing, they go to one street, they're like, go down this street, and it was like a medieval torture museum. Now I'm a huge history nut, so the people I were with was like, hey, let's go check it out, and I was like, sure. And halfway through, they're like, how do you know so much about all these things? I'm like, I'm into some weird shit, but also I love history, and so we come out, and as we're walking up the street, I smell something, and I look over, and there's trash, and there's this metal circular thing that's like open at the bottom and open at the top, and a guy walks out drunk, and it's the pee thing, right? So you walk in, you close the little metal door behind you, and you pee, and it goes right into that canal.
Oh, it goes into the canal? Dude, I don't know.
You think canals in cities are clean? Are you crazy?
I've never been to Amsterdam, but everyone always talks about Amsterdam being like a crazy like drug city where you go and like you do like, I don't know, you just have a bunch of hash and you eat all the edibles.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like
sounds like a waste of a trip.
But did it seem like there was any of that? Or is that just one of those things you like the US part of the world just puts in movies?
Well, I mean, the thing is when something is originally introduced, it's crazy, and then it just becomes normal, right? And then it just becomes how it is. So, for example, my weed story from New York, right? Like for me, I'm still older generation. I come from the South. I'm not used to weed, and so like when I bought it because I had to get my beard done, like it was like I felt like I was doing something wrong. But people that live there are just like it's normal, right? So I think it's more so that the movies and people that have never been there think it's like Sin City. Like imagine Vegas, right? Movies make it seem like it's wild bachelorette parties, gambling, and money. You go there and it's just people handing out tourist cards and a bunch of restaurants that are overpriced and too many people, right? Like there's
still a lot of messed up stuff happening in Vegas, though. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but you can do most of that stuff anywhere.
That's true, but like I get what you're saying. Like the movie version, the pop culture version, is always like a caricature of what it really is.
I did show up at a brothel by accident
in Amsterdam.
Yes.
Was it what was it trying to cover as?
It wasn't covering as anything. So apparently, you go to the red light district, which I said I wasn't going to go, but because we followed the canals, all canals lead to the red light district. I didn't know that, so I ended up there anyways. But which was sad. It was actually very sad. It was actually a very sad experience. But no, where I was staying was in a very nice area of Amsterdam, and it was by a big marketplace and a beautiful park, like something out of the movies, right? Like there was like the willows going into the water and the swans and people sitting there. It was beautiful. And it's all nice. And I walked around for I didn't have internet service. So in my Airbnb, I found where I needed to get a convertible charger. And it said to go on the map, go up the street to the right, left, 2 blocks up, make a right. And then it's right there on the right. So I'm like, okay, cool. So when I leave, I'm memorizing this pattern. But I had to like go around like something I didn't expect. So I kind of got like, wait, do I take a right down this street or is it the next street? So I went to the next street, made the right. And at the end, there was a little building, and I was like, it had something called like Club One something. And I'm like, Club One? I don't remember the name of that. So I was like, maybe I didn't read the name of it right because I didn't remember. So I buzzed it, and a lady opens up and she goes, yes, hello? And I go, I'm looking for a charger. I only have 3 girls available. I'm like, okay, that is not that kind of charger. So I said, I'm sorry, I laughed. And and so I said, okay, I'm gonna go around. So I went around, and sure as shit, as soon as I went around the corner, it was right there on the back corner. So yeah, I accidentally ended up at a brothel. I was only there probably 30 seconds, and I don't mean that like as a thing, but but that was my experience with it. But as far as drugs, no, didn't see anybody do any drugs.
I mean, doing drugs is fun. I just meant more like the commercial activity of drug. Like, was it a big deal? Like, was there like weed shops? That's what I saw coffee shops, but they were empty. They were just, it's normal there. Yeah.
But I also didn't stay in the touristy area. Everybody at TwitchCon stayed at the hotels around the touristy area. I stayed in a nice neighborhood because I wanted to experience it.
Yeah, so hang on.
You ever been to Europe?
Yes, but not Amsterdam.
Where have you been in Europe? This was my first trip non-military.
Oh, I've been to the first time I went there, I went to Scotland, and it was for an exchange program in high school. Ooh, and we went to some random town called Dunfermline, which I told somebody later in life and they were like, why did you go there? I don't know. But I was like, well, that's where they took us. So I went there. I've been to London, working with esports. And
video game people always get to go to the coolest places.
I know. Went to Finland. Got to go to Helsinki for a video game.
When you say the top money show in the world, and no one invites me anywhere.
Hey.
Were you saying video game people as in people that are on Twitch streaming video games?
Yeah.
Okay.
The platform for.
All the video game people, bro.
Well, I mean, like esports people, like they're always like going to competitions in Dubai and like in Asia, and like there's competitions. Like money, you would think that it's so big that you hear about these money conferences and these things, but like nobody gives a shit. Like, so maybe maybe I need to start playing more games.
That's not true. People care, man. Miami,
you know what I mean?
CryptoCon or whatever it was in Miami
I don't
this
do
year.
crypto.
Whatever it was going on in Miami this year was an absolute banger. It looked like the biggest deal.
And
like,
all those people are broke now.
That's fine. At the time, the event was massive, dog. At the time, that event was. Do you think?
I look forward to the hate comments from this podcast.
Do you think there will be another one of those next year? By the way, Dee, if you didn't know, Miami is like the center of the world for crypto and just like
no idea.
And
they made a bull. They made a bull with glowing red eyes. It's like the Wall Street bull.
It's also really, it's trying really hard. It's not just like it accidentally became the capital for crypto. It's like Miami like saw an opportunity to say, oh, crypto's this new idea and it's starting to really explode into the general market. So we want to be the home of it. So it's like really outwardly doing things. It's trying to like put on events and these conventions, and it's trying to just. It's like, honestly, it's like Stocky just said, it's trying a little too hard. And for a city that's known as like Vice City with all that has been overrun by, drugs and all the,
But that's why it's the perfect city for it. Because think about it. Most of the drugs that aren't border transactions, like the New Mexican border, but most of the illegal stuff from around the world, especially South America, comes through Miami. So why would you not want a city where money can just be, black booked and just non-traceable transactions? It makes sense, but like they're going too hard with it. They made a Miami coin, which is down like 80%.
Yeah. Which there's just all these sorts of coins.
Do you invest or do you own anything?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I guess I've just
come on
never
my
taken
stream.
the
We got to
time
talk this through. We have to talk this through. This is
I'm down.
Well, I think no might be a slight misrepresentation there, D, because I know Josh, her husband, gets involved. So
understood. But D, do you have your own business?
Yes.
So the implications for tax advantages of paying yourself via a self-employed pension IRA or paying yourself a 401k and matching yourself as the employer to the employee is an ungodly amount of tax break. Plus, it's an investment that is setting you up for the future.
I do have an IRA, but I just don't know. I don't invest.
Is it allocated or is it just sitting there?
Oof, it's probably just sitting there.
So you're making nothing. You're literally just worse than a bank account.
See, that's this is why I need to take the time and learn.
We need to talk. It's great. Free content for me. You learn something. Everybody wins.
You should honestly, D. I just heard that invitation. That was a bona fide invitation.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I have a lot of invitations out there. I just never follow up. So
I'm gonna broker the follow up here,
right.
So that way, because I know
I know
how
sure.
both of you guys are. You guys will both be so down and accept something like that, but then, but you might just need a little bit of nudge to get it to happen. So
the thing is, though, is that I require everybody who comes on to teach me something too. So it's not just me teaching one person. So you're gonna have to figure something else teach me, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So now that we're out of the way,
you know what she can teach you on? You know what she can teach you on? You know what Stocky's trying to find? Stocky's trying to find a personal trainer right now because he's trying to really get into his.
It's not that I need a personal trainer to teach me how to work out. I used to work out a lot before COVID. Do you remember that, Alex? When I had the beard and I was just ripped. And then COVID happened. I didn't go to the gym. Then I had the kid, and it's just now I don't have the motivation. So I need to hire somebody to get my ass out there. But it's not just a personal trainer. I want to learn a skill like boxing, Muay Thai, or kickboxing at the same time. So it's something that I feel like not only am I working out, but I'm getting better at something too.
Yeah, maybe Krav Maga. Have you ever done that?
No, but
self-defense?
I carry a gun. I don't need to learn it for self-defense. I just want to do it because it just feels good.
Okay.
Well, what is Krav Maga?
The Israeli, I guess the Israeli fighting. Jiu-jitsu. But it's meant to be self-defense and fighting tactics, or if somebody pulls a gun on you and you don't have your gun, how to disarm the situation. Take the gun and get out of there. It's not about...
No, if somebody pulls a gun on you and you don't have a way of doing it, or somebody pulls a gun on you, for the best thing you could do is just do what they say. No one needs to die a hero, especially when your family's around.
I don't know.
Well, here's my thing. And this is somebody who was in the military and as an ex-police officer. If I'm in a situation with my family and somebody pulls a gun on me and says, give me your wallet, the best thing I can do
I would say
give them my wallet.
Sure, take it.
Because imagine me trying to do this and the gun pops off by accident and it hits my wife or kid, or the guy's got some friends and stuff like that. Like, I know, like, I carry a gun, but I never ever carry a gun with the idea that, man, if somebody fucks with me, I'm going to blow them away. No, I always carry my gun hoping I never have to pull it. Because the only way I'm going to pull my gun is if I'm in a life or death situation, and I don't want to be in that situation. I carry my gun like a shield, not a sword.
That was very...
Yeah, and Krav Maga is not, it's, I guess, less so about fighting back like some of the other martial arts, but it's about disarming and getting away as fast as possible, getting yourself safe.
Yeah, if you're in a situation where like somebody wants to kill you no matter what, then yeah. But if it's something they want to take, then that's a different story. But I agree with you. Yeah, that's great. I have a lot of that skill from the military, so I have that like generally like how to pop a gun away or to snap a wrist. But like I want to do something that's like gonna build me in a way that like I feel like I'm gaining a skill while working out. So I'm just working with that.
Yeah, and see the
but
reason
you play
why
soccer though, don't you?
That's the reason why I brought it up is because D is so active and does all the things that you need to do to just, you know, have to feel like you have
and that's why she looks younger, more vibrant, and happier than either of us, because she actually she has learned how to have life-work balance and enjoy it. Yeah. You and I are business, not that she doesn't do it, but we just are workaholics, and look what happened to us. Like both of us look like, I look like I'm 50, you look 45, she looks 19, she's smiling, we're barely getting by.
Yeah,
like we need to learn from D, not about
100%.
Everything else, but just about how to have balance.
100%. And see, D, that's what you're gonna have to teach Stocky on when you go and hang out with him on stream. Also, as a heads up, if you do go hang out with Stocky on stream, be ready because when he's on the high of the stream, he's on the high of it. He's like probably
but I play to my guess. I don't overdo it because it ruins it. Like for example, Alex is so afraid that I'm gonna like not understand the situational awareness, which by the way, Alex, I wouldn't have survived this long with my personality. If
Wait,
I didn't
hold
have
on. That's what do you mean? I'm afraid that you're not gonna understand.
Because
what?
because you were in a call. Okay, so D, I'm gonna have to tell you about this.
Okay.
So in the Madrina's Discord, the partner Discord, and don't tell anybody I told you this, that when they have a call like a activation, they do a little meeting room, right, where they're talking. It's an open meeting room.
Which you never see because we're always just in the Discord in the morning party about Discord ever. You know what I mean?
So I one time thought that Alex and Austin were in a call. So I popped in like, yeah, what's up, you losers, whatever. And it turned out it was Andy and they were on a stream. But
Andy was live.
And I was like, and Andy was into it. So I said, all right, let's just go with it.
He says Andy was into it. That is 100% true. However, you need to say they had never spoken before then. That was their first time. So Andy just sort of knew of Stocky and vice versa. And then in the middle of this, Stocky has no idea that Andy's live with his audience right there. And Stocky just starts spouting off, talking about this stuff. He told this story, and by the time he told the story, he figured it was, we had told him, like, Stocky, we're live. This isn't Austin, this is Andy. And he had this moment where he was like, oh shit, oh my God. But then he ended up telling the story of playing Mario Kart.
I hooked up with that girl from the bar because of Mario Kart.
Yeah. He ends up telling this story about Mario Kart and how he hooked up
to this day, Andy's favorite streaming moment, by the way. But then after that happened, I noticed that I have access. So Sneeg was doing it, and I had seen Sneeg's personality in his chat before, so I hopped in there and messed with them. So they're one of his new partners, Summerberry, or what's her name?
Yeah,
Somerset. Yeah,
Somerset.
Yeah. So I saw them in there, and I go,
No,
I said,
I said it wasn't that I was worried
I could have.
about you not understanding situational awareness. It's just that I know you, and I know when it's a good time and when it may not be the best time.
But that's the thing, is that if you knew who I was, you would have known I wasn't going to do it, because I saw you guys in there way before I came on your stream. I would have jumped in there if I wanted to. So I go on her stream to see what's going on. And instead of doing it, because I'm not going to do it because I don't know her and they're doing their own thing, I go into his stream and say, oh, I see you guys are in an open meeting. Would be a shame if somebody were to just show up.
Yeah.
And then he freaks out. Like he freaks out.
Says, I freak out.
Not the time.
No,
and
literally all that was said, we were playing Fortnite. All I said was, Stocky, now's not the time, dog. Just don't do it. There was no handshake.
I love that power I have over you. that you were so worried that there was a chance I would do it that you felt the need to say that.
Yeah, you definitely had the power in that moment. You 100% had the power.
Great.
Kelly was also like, oh my God. And she like DM'd me. She goes, if he even like,
Oh man.
And I love the ability to make you guess, is he going to go too far? Which I never do, but I always seem like I might. And there's always that chance.
well,
like
and
Jake
you had me.
thing.
Was that yesterday? Or was that 2 days ago? That was 2 days. That was on Monday.
That was
on Monday. You got me on that one. And this point, we've been friends for so long and we've talked so much. You don't get me that often anymore, but you got me with that one. That one was definitely, I was nervous. I was like, oh shit. Am I going to have to just deal with this now with him hopping in here and I'm going to have to navigate? Because the last time you did it with Sneeg, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. These two guys are just going to start jawing at each other and it's just going to be content for days. And Andy obviously was a good hangout, but I didn't think that Kayla Somerset would have known how to handle the online version,
I have no
like the
idea
live
who she
version
is,
of you.
so I if I don't have a bit of a, like I said, one thing that you probably don't know about me, Alex, and Dee, obviously she's mediating this right now. But one thing you'll know about me is that I have situations where I always feel out my opponent, right? Like, or the person that I'm with. So like, my biggest downside is not my personality. I'm fine with my personality. I have a big personality. I'm very straightforward. I'm very to the point, and I'm a lot to handle because I'm very steady with who I am. But my initial reaction with people can be really like a shock to them, right? Like some people say it's like a cliff, right? It's a lot, and if they're not willing to scale the cliff, then they just walk away, right? They mentally walk away. So I'm working on that initial reaction because I've noticed almost everybody who's willing enough to say, wow, that's a lot, but let me see where this goes. We end up being really tight because I'm a ride or die. And I generally find someone's energy and try to bring myself closer to them. So when you say, how is this going to go or something like that, like I test it out. So with Andy, I could test it out. Sneeg, I did. But with this Somerset girl, I don't know her. I didn't know anything about her. And I'm not just going to throw myself in that situation.
That was Stocky trying to say, hey, I have a very dynamic personality. And this is him trying to recruit you, D, to come hang out with him live on stream.
Oh, no, D knows me enough by now. I used to go into her morning, her show every day and give her the news. Stocky with the news.
You were doing that. You were doing that with me, and then I think someone made a little comment, and you said, "All right, I'm going to go give this to D forever."
So I started with D, and then I just ran with it. I just ran with it for like 3 weeks.
We looked for it. We loved it.
Yeah.
All right, we didn't get to any stories, but I want to get to some stories because I think, like I said, I like having new people's thoughts. Alex and I are just back and forth.
Yeah.
So we've already touched on all of these subjects, and we didn't get to them. So I just wanted to go with real quick. Speaking of traveling, speaking of Mission Beach, all the things we touched on, before the stream started, we talked about this new thing where a company is paying people $15,000 to go to their beach resorts.
And here is how you apply based on the CNBC website and the article. It says,
I got a lot to unpack with this, so you let them know what it is, Alex.
So this is from hotels.com, so I'm sure most people have used hotels.com.
Not an ad.
Expedia, whatever. It says the hotel booking website is looking for a retro beach motelier. Motelier? Is that how? M-O-T-E-L.
I think motelier, like sommelier.
Oh,
no, it's
that's
motelier,
exactly
like a hotelier, like a person who runs hotels. A hotelier, wouldn't it be a motelier?
Wait,
I think an aficionado or like somebody who knows a lot about
No,
motels.
I'm gonna go with D on this one. She said it's like a sommelier, but so retro beach motelier.
What's wrong with Somalians? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Who will get paid $15,000 to visit the company's 10 best retro beach motels across the U.S. this summer. The money includes a $10,000 travel stipend. The hotels are far-flung across the country, from Florida and Maine to Washington State and Southern Cal, and a $5,000 salary to spend on whatever you like during your travels. Hotels.com says it will also outfit the contest winner with sunscreen, umbrellas, vintage sunglasses, a cooler, a solar-powered AM/FM radio, and a retro Polaroid camera. Wow, they're going full retro on this. The only requirement.
This is bullshit. This is not a paid thing. This is
a contest.
You're paying out of pocket by the time it's over.
This is a contest. It wants to make it sound like it's one of those crazy jobs that you can apply to and like get, but like it said right here, it's gonna be a contest. The only requirement for the winner.
No, stop. D has been like, she's got something to say. So let's hear it.
I got something to say. Okay, so
Time
with
out.
this, I feel like the word they're using. I mean, motel. First of all, when you think of motel, that's not fancy. That's like kind of hole in the wall. And then I feel like retro is. I mean, you're gonna end up at something like I feel like a Motel 6 or something like that. I don't know. So back in college, I took this travel and tourism class, and we had to make as a like assignment, you had to take something negative about, let's say, an imaginary hotel, and you had to use it for advertising. And one of the ones was like it had really thin walls, so you would say like, "Oh, we have really eco-friendly walls."
Oh my god!
But really,
Sorry, I went the wrong way there.
Super thin, and so I feel like it's just trying to turn something yucky and make it sound fancy.
That happens all the time with Airbnbs. That happens all the time.
Why would they pay?
Like if you go, like you'll see on an Airbnb, it'll like take some great photo that's perfect for Instagram or something like that. And it's like, and then it tries to capture your imagination, be like, oh, look how fun and hipster this is. And then when you get there, it's just some boring wall, and you're like, oh, this is it. Like
Google Street View, Alex. That's what I do now. When I go to an Airbnb, especially if it's not out in the middle of nowhere, I go on the Google Street View and look at it, and that's how I find out if it's legit or not. Like when we went to St. Augustine, we got like a ski chateau thing, and it was like this big glass walled thing and beautiful yard, and I was like, let me check it out. So I saw the pictures, and then I went on Street View, and actually on Street View, the only thing that was different was the yard was dead because it was winter. But other than that, the house looked exactly like it, and we had a blast. But I've gone on Street View, and it don't look like it. Like there's stuff that's like dilapidated and stuff, and some of it's older pictures, so you never know. But it lets you know if the structure in the neighborhood is what it says, because it might look nice, but the neighborhood might be a crack house. You know,
we talked about this last time, and Stocky and I have differing opinions now. I'm done. I'm done with Airbnb. I'm never gonna. I will never at this point. I just will default to a hotel because I feel like a hotel gives you everything for the same price. Stocky is pro Airbnb. He said
I worked in hotels. I worked in hotels for 6 years. I started as a bellman, worked my way up to a front desk agent, to a front desk supervisor, manager, front office manager, operations manager, night manager. I've worked at shitty hotels. I've worked at 5-star resorts. I know hotels, and my thing is that if I'm just going for a place to crash, right, and I don't want it, when you pay for a hotel, you're not paying for the room, you're paying for the resort, or you're paying for whatever. So my difference, though, on whether I book one or the other is often the cleaning fee, right? So the way that they fleece you in Airbnb is oftentimes the cleaning fee. And they will charge you $175 for a cleaning fee, and you still are expected to keep a nice, clean area.
Right. So do chores afterwards.
What I often do is I reach out to them and I'll say, hey, listen, I'm interested in staying at your place. And if I notice that there's a lot of other properties, I'd be like, listen, if you'll work with me on that cleaning fee, I'll make sure the place is in good shape. You don't have a lot to do, and I'll stay there. And oftentimes they'll knock it down for me because that's something they collect directly.
Oh my gosh.
Because what they can do is they can send you an update price of minus or do something. So for example, I decided to do a late check-in or early check-in one time, and the people were like $50 for 2 hours. I was like, sure. So they sent through Airbnb an update. I paid the $50. They can do the opposite. Now it's not always going to work, but oftentimes you say, hey, listen, I'm really interested in your property. There's another property nearby, but I really like yours because it's closer to where I want to be. But the cleaning fee is really expensive. Listen, you can see my reviews. I've all 5-star reviews. I keep the places clean. If you'll work with me on this, I'll book it immediately. And sometimes they'll go, okay, it's 175. We'll knock it down to 80. All right, boom, done. And so I save money there.
Oh my God.
But remember, always talk to people. But the thing is that Airbnbs oftentimes, because in Florida, you have to pay a sales tax, a resort tax, a city tax. And by the time you do that, I used to remember that we used to charge people $25 a day for a resort fee, whether they use the resort commodities or not, right? And then there is tax, and then there's a hold. I prefer Airbnbs because I get to have experiences. Now, if you want to stay on the beach or you want to stay in a little place, go for it. But we've stayed in Airbnbs that were tree houses, that were ski chateaus, that were ranches with animals. We've stayed in Airbnbs that were, farms that had fruits that you could pick and stuff like that. Like, I like it because of the experience and because I'm traveling with a family.
D, where are you? Where are you? Are you somewhere between Stocky and I? Or are you fully with Stocky on Airbnb?
I love Airbnb for the same reasons he does. I feel like it's more of an experience, and there's just cool different things. I haven't stayed here, but somewhere down in the Shenandoah in Virginia, there's a Hobbit house Airbnb. And I'm like, I want to stay there. That looks so cool.
That to me is just like one of those things though, where it sounds so good online, and they can take really cutesy dootsy photos for Instagram.
Alex, I think what the difference between you and us is that you're thinking it from traveling for business and just needing a place to crash and get up and do stuff versus we're looking at as experiences.
Okay, I guess that's true. Just like full on recreation. Like if you're gonna go,
Yeah, like if I'm going to a convention and I don't want to be far away, I'll stay at the airport hotel. Like I'll do it for business, right? But like if I like in Amsterdam, right? I could have stayed at the hotel, but for only $30 a night more, I got to stay next to a beautiful park in an old part of the city with some of the best food and cafes. And I felt like I was in Amsterdam and not at the convention. You see what I'm saying? So I think that there's a difference there between work and experiences.
That's totally fair. I'm just so at this point turned off by what Airbnb is. I remember using Airbnb.
My man had two bad experiences with Airbnb and has written them off. You're like the dude who got cheated on by a chick once and now thinks all women are whores.
This is like it's gonna sound old and curmudgeony, but like I remember when Airbnbs first popped off, and it was just like, oh, these like charming houses and people, and they just happen to have, you know, they were out of town for a weekend, so they put their place up. You know what I mean? Now it's like all of this same. When you go to an Airbnb, I feel like it is cookie cutter. It's all like basic, like the cheapest IKEA furniture
you don't know
they
what
could
you're
find.
Looking. Well, the Airbnb's changed though. Have you been on the Airbnb app lately?
I don't think so.
Go on the app. They've updated. They actually have where you can choose farms, villas, mansions, good beach, good pool, lakeside. You can pick architectural designs. You can curtail it now, so you're not looking through endless cookie cutter shit.
I'm also not the.
You're rich. Come on, man.
I'm also not the one. Like I held this opinion. Like D, when we went to North Carolina for the Halo event, we stayed at an Airbnb there. And I held this opinion then. The consensus from Josh and Mason was they wanted to stay in an Airbnb. So, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, boom. I'll definitely always still do it if the group wants to or whoever we're going to want to. This just happens to be my opinion that I harbor is that I
think you need to go find you a good, loyal woman. Okay. Not, I'm talking about metaphorically speaking. Okay. Not all women are going to cheat on you. Okay. There are good women out there. Airbnb is not always trash. There are good Airbnbs out there. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, you know what? Take your time, heal. Okay. The best way to get over someone is to get under someone. It's okay. The best way to get over this is to stay in some hotels, but eventually you're going to want to get back to that.
If we're going to perpetuate your metaphor, I've still been out there swiping right on Tinder, bro. I've still been
a hoe.
I've still been, bro. I've still been using Airbnb, and every time I'm there, I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm still doing Airbnb. But all right, D, you like Airbnb like Stocky. That's 2-1 then.
Okay, but can we get back to this real quick? Okay, when they said retro, I think what they're doing is they're repurposing or making hotels look like in the movies, because there's been such a big wave in movies recently of like the 50s motels, like, you know, like with American Horror Story and like those with. I think what they're doing is they're trying to make hotels into retro, like what they were before, so people feel like they're going back in time, right? And so I feel like it's more of a resort destination, but the old school motels. We have one of those in Miami Beach. It's where all the prostitutes are now, but it's that I've heard of. But yeah, so that's kind of the thing. But my thing is I think the one thing that was missed here is $15,000 for a year. Okay, $10,000 for traveling expenses. Okay, you're traveling across the United States for a year, money's gone. $5,000 for what? Food and room service. That's what, 4 or 5 of your motels. Then what?
Wait, is this for a year?
I forgot. Well, I didn't read it. You were reading it, so I thought you said like they were traveling across the United States.
Yeah, I don't know. It must just be for like a week at a time or something. I wouldn't assume a year, and you're 100% paying.
According to this, it says. Let me skim.
Well, if you also just anybody that's listening to this, if you want to be about this, it says to apply, you'll have to fill out an online questionnaire that asks for your Instagram handle and includes prompts like, if you time travel to the 50s, who would you spend your beach vacation with? And describe why the retro beach motel is perfect.
The motels come from Hotel.com's recent ranking of the top 10 retro beach motels. So it's not shitty motels. Like it's the top 10 voted on based on focus like average guest rating, motel design, price, value, and location. Miami's referred to as vagabond. Okay, yeah. Alongside high gas prices, record inflation, it makes sense to anyone looking at a beach vacation. Applications closed. I don't know. It just says, what did it say? The hotel booking website for this, you get paid $15,000 to visit the company's 10 best retro beach motels. The money includes $10,000 travel stipend. The hotels are far. So I guess you travel to all 10 of them. But here's the thing. Even if they pay for the hotel and everything like that, $10,000 to travel to 10 different hotels around the United States, that money's gone. $5,000 salary and they put it in quotations, to spend on whatever you like during your travels. Like that's not like you're getting fleeced. They're fleecing people.
Yeah, they're doing it under the whole guise of this whole Like it literally says you have to include your Instagram handle, and they're trying. This is influencer marketing. This is
right. It really is.
This is like Madrina's giving somebody a shirt before they go viral. I get it.
D, would you fill out this questionnaire? Would you do this?
What is the questionnaire?
Can we look at the questionnaire? No.
You wouldn't do this?
No,
hold on.
It's
Let's
like
do this.
The influencer thing. It's like the companies that DM you on Instagram and they're like, "Hey, would love to work with you and you be an ambassador. We'll give you like 20% off to buy our clothes," and then you market it. You're like, "This is a scam."
Okay. Oh, to buy their clothes?
You travel to the 50s.
They say we'll give you a discount on buying our clothes, and then you so you're paying to be an ambassador,
and then they want you to post about it.
Right, and tag them. Like, that's so scammy.
All right,
I feel like this is
I'm sorry, hold on. I'm going to bring up the questionnaire, but I have to fill in some things. So it says
I have it pulled up right here. I have the questionnaire
so I'm looking
pulled
at it. Hold on. Do you have the whole questionnaire? You already filled everything out?
I haven't filled everything out, but I have the whole thing pulled up. It says travel back in time as the retro. It's exactly right. I guarantee.
But you have to fill it out to get the questions.
No, but D, I guarantee it's like what you said. It's Motelier. I guarantee it's like what you just said. Instead of like exactly like to get the head shake on. Like it's like
hold on real quick. Full name Joe Mama. Birthday 4/20/69. Instagram email dnuts@gmail.com. Instagram handle @dsnuts. If you traveled into the 1950s, who would you spend your vacation with? Your mom. Describe why the Retro Beach Motel is your perfect somewhere. Your dad won't know. Okay, yes. Okay, let's pull it up. Submit. All right, let's see if they give me. All right, here we go.
It says 7 questions to go. You have 7 more questions.
Oh, I thought it was the question. Wait.
If you filled out that initial field, it's telling you that you have to do. Yeah, at the end of the day, Stocky, all that matters is that this is just some marketer's way of like trying to package influencer marketing in a different way. It's like, oh, hey, we're gonna.
Look what happened with that pink sauce.
Here's a job. You know what I mean? And like, it's you're gonna go to these hotels. Which, listen, I've been to some of these retro hotels when Hotels.com says it's retro or whatever. It's not a great stay. It photographs well. When you're there, it's just like I had this one, and I don't want to say the name of the place, but it was in Portland, and this place like was being hyped up as some like retro, like old school vibe, like it was supposed to be like that this experience. And I got there, and it was just like it was an old school like motel where it's like basically like in a parking lot, and you got to like it's like double layered or whatever, and there was a bunch of like hippies in a parking lot around a bonfire at night. And it was right outside thin walls, of the hotel or whatever. And like, you could hear exactly what they're talking about. And I'm trying to fall asleep. They're like looking in because there's no curtains. And I was like, all right. I got up and I grabbed my bag. I was with my brother. We grabbed our bags. We said, we're out of here. We're going to like a Holiday Inn Express or something. Yeah. What is this? We did it because it was close to like a meeting that we had the next day. But then we ended up driving like 10, 15 minutes away to get to like a normal hotel. But it was all retro. You know what I mean? It was all retro, and like the walls were like all this funky art and stuff. And I feel like that's a photographs well. And when you're shopping and looking for things on an app, you're like, oh, that's cute. That's fun. And then, but when I got there, it was not that way. Anyway, so that's the same gripe I have with Airbnb with retro or whatever. I am like just looking for cookie cutter hotel at this point.
Yeah, but it's so boring. It's so vanilla. No offense, but it just like, I love the experiences. Like I love, like when I book an Airbnb, I think of everybody in the family, right? Like I think, okay, I need a yard for the dog, right? So I look for something that has like space for him. For baby, I'm like, okay, safety, right? Like I don't want anything that's got lots of stairs that we have to go up and down. I don't want anything that's got like lots of glass furniture. I don't want anything that, like they whatever. And then for my wife, I'm like, okay, she loves, there's certain things that she loves when we go traveling, and Airbnb makes everything. And one of them is, she loves the whatever that's in the yard, like to go out and have tea in the morning or a coffee or whatever like that. She loves having, restaurants nearby, but more importantly, she just likes the feeling like she's somewhere else. You know what I mean? And cookie cutter doesn't feel that way. So I try to take that into a thing, and I can actually change everybody's. I can cookie cut or not cookie cut. I can actually go outside the box, make sure everybody's having a good time. Because if one person isn't having a good time, the trip is ruined, because it's my job to make sure everybody's having a good time.
That's true. Listen, we have 13 minutes left, and I'm gonna try to do our best here to hit another story here.
We got the one story.
I'm pulling up another one. I'm pulling up another one.
By the way, real quick, if anybody's watching this and wondering, this is not a intervention to get me to be a pirate. Okay, just want you to know that.
Oh my God, it could be though. It absolutely could be.
No, I'm playing a
I
medieval
have a
game.
pirate top on.
Okay, she's going legit, but I have I played my first ever game stream since we played The Forest when I had 10 viewers, Alex,
Ooh.
and I played Medieval Dynasty, and I had so much fun, and my chat had such a blast, and it was so fucking hilarious that I'm gonna have to do it again. I actually started an alt channel on Twitch for me to do gaming IRL and variety because I'm the stock guy. That's what I do. And if I mix all this other shit with there, it muddies the water and now I have no identity. So I started a new alt channel. So I'm going to do a couple more episodes of this game with them and then move everybody over there so I can, do both.
This article,
I had a blast.
This article at NewYorkPost.com, which by the way, Stocky, if you ever want to be a pirate with D&I in the morning, you're always invited.
In the morning, I'm busy. I'm making money in the morning.
Not when we start.
Y'all are asleep when I'm doing research. Y'all are on a pirate when I'm doing a morning call, and I'm in the market losing thousands of dollars by the time y'all take your first Athena, or whatever the hell it's called.
We go live 2 hours before you go live in the morning, so you have a little bit of time there.
I'm up at 5:30 Eastern doing research for the day.
I said go live, not when you wake up, bro.
You want me to stop research, stop making my measly income so I can come be a pirate with you guys?
I want you to swashbuckle with us.
I'll do it on a weekend with you one day, okay?
Just 5 alcoholic drinks a week will age you and mess up your DNA. This article at NewYorkPost.com suggests will mess up your DNA. I don't think anybody wants that. The article says
I'm saying look at how messed up it did to me.
People who consume more than 17 units of alcohol in a week, equal to about 5 large glasses of wine or 8 pints of beer, were found to have older DNA. Scientists at Oxford have found the study published Tuesday revealed that consuming alcohol in excess can wreak havoc on DNA by causing damage to telomeres, like protective caps at the ends of a chromosome, which could eventually lead to age-related diseases and the formation of cancer. Swab tests found the top 40% of drinkers in the study had shorter telomere length caused by alcohol consumption. The other 60% who drank less than 17 units were genetically undamaged. Listen, alcohol is poison. When you put it in your body, it is by definition poison. So it shouldn't shock anybody. It kills you a little bit every time.
I want to know what they mean by age DNA, because do they mean age DNA as in it kills you sooner or makes you look uglier and older? Because Ireland's a perfect example. The average age of lifespan in Ireland is 82.3, and they're all alcoholics, but they're also all ugly. So are they talking about the fact that it's aging your DNA as in like making you look age and not actually killing you sooner? Because they have a higher life expectancy than us, but they're more busted than us. So is that what they mean?
You're better at health and fitness than both of us.
Go ahead.
What do you know of alcohol and its impacts? I mean, I feel like Stocky and I could both easily say, oh yeah, it's bad for you. And this is starting to say stuff about messing up your DNA. But like, what are your habits that you have developed and found?
Okay, so the biggest thing I guess that I can bring to the table on it is nutrition wise. So in alcohol, there's your macronutrients. There's protein, carbs, and fat. Those make up calories, right? So alcohol has calories, but it doesn't have any of those 3 macronutrients in it. Maybe carbs for some of them, like beer. But so it's a really bizarre thing. It has calories, but it doesn't have any nutritional value. And when you're consuming alcohol, it's obviously not fueling your body, but your body will prioritize the alcohol. So it'll go for that first versus a nutrient dense food that you're eating, etc. So I feel like, that can't be good for your body if it's prioritizing that over eating food, things that nourish your body and help you grow muscle or get healthy, or all the antioxidants that are in foods. And
it doesn't matter if you put it as dumbly as I did, where I just said it can't be good for you, or as smartly as D did. I feel like everybody's common sense.
The thing with what D said makes sense if you drink excessively, right? So she's absolutely on point, right? Like you're talking about if you drink excessively and your body starts replacing nourishments it gets from full meals throughout the day, everything with the alcohol, that makes sense. But this is saying only 5 glasses of wine a week, where I'm thinking that's 1 glass of wine average, not even every day. I'm trying to understand how that could actually negatively impact you if in moderation, it's not replacing any meals. You're not getting to the point where you're dehydrating yourself by drinking too much. You're not replacing meals. It's not a replacement. It's an in-between. Like, that's what I'm saying is like it seems like a low bar, but who are they comparing it to? If they're comparing it to people without a balanced diet, it makes sense.
5 to me sounds like a lot. 5 alcoholic
5 glasses of wine in a week?
Oh, they said 17 units. right?
Yeah, they said 17
also
units.
equals what?
What's a unit? What are they defining as a unit?
So yeah. I mean, that's a great question. I don't know where the hell the unit. There was
17
no
units, and they average. They say that that's the equivalence of 5 large glasses of wine or 8 pints of beer.
Okay,
in
exactly.
an entire week.
So 17 units is 5 large. So 3
let's call it
units.
two regular glasses of wine, I guess, on the high end a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
That feels like it's in line with if you were eating nutritious full meals throughout the day, working out, exercising. I don't feel like maybe I'm wrong, but that doesn't seem like that would impact your DNA that much. Now, if you were eating junk food, you weren't working out, and you were just drinking like a whole bottle a day, maybe. I'm just trying to find out.
I'm a big believer in like routine and like whatever. Like it's like the 80-20 rule, right? Like if 80% of the time you're eating well and 20% of the time, you're eating like mac and cheese and like pizza and like you're having a beer, I feel like the 80% of what you do is going to overrun the 20% and vice versa. If the wine is in the 80%, which that is
20% of the time you're smoking crack cocaine.
So if the wine's in the 80%,
come on, Alex,
maybe these people are. Maybe
okay, Rob Ford. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not the mayor of Toronto.
So if the wine's in the 80%, D just said maybe these people are. Maybe that's
like we don't know. Like who?
What do you mean these people?
Who are they're test subjects?
No. Let's explore this, D.
Are there test subjects? How do we know that they're test subjects? So the ones that are aging faster aren't doing something like crack, or they're eating junk food.
I would assume
or like what else are these people doing?
That's quite an assumption. Coming from the guy that understands that everybody's got an economic motive behind everything that's done ever. So maybe there's someone that's funding this whole study that wants, you know what I mean? That wants people to think.
Speaking of which, not to cut you off, but we're almost out of time. I started doing a bunch of these government waste things that I was teaching my community, and they love it. And I said, maybe I need to start adding these to the end of every podcast because it's so interesting, or do my own thing. So now that you're saying about money and all this, I wouldn't put it past it, because I want you to look up Operation, what is it? Operation Acoustic Kitty. And that is not about your mom's vagina. I want you to hear this out.
Wait, do you want me to look up the Wikipedia of it?
Sure, but the CIA actually spent $20 million to put a drill, a radio transmitter, and a shortwave frequency radio in a cat's ear, right? In order to send it across the street to where the KGB used to meet, in order to listen in their conversation. $20 million to do this, and they released the cat, and as it was crossing the street, hit by a fucking taxi and died.
Oh my God.
$20 million. The only thing they heard was that honk of a horn. And you know what's messed up is that they got the recording. You know what the last thing that went through that cat's head was?
The honk of the horn.
Ass.
Okay. The punchline was his ass. So for those that didn't hear that, for those that didn't pick up on that one.
No, but the CIA has since come out and said, no, that's not the case. What actually happened is that we did surgery, took out everything, sewed him back up. He lived a healthy, happy life forever.
That's a much better ending.
That's what you do with a $20 million cat. You just scrap it.
That's a much better ending. So anyway, I got this Acoustic Kitty article up. Do you want me to do anything with this?
No, I just thought we were talking about wasting money and every motives behind stuff. I just thought there was a cool little story to end before we go into random rant.
If you want to know more about what the hell Stocky was just talking about, Google Acoustic Kitty. That was pretty interesting. Kind of like, hey, it's a little topical because that new game came out called Stray. Everyone's playing. It's like, you're playing that.
Is that about bullets?
You're playing it. You're a cat.
Like you are a cat.
I'm thinking stray is in like a stray bullet. Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, okay. Like, is this JFK Reloaded Part 2? I don't know.
Stray cat.
There's a game on Steam, D, called JFK Reloaded. And
not on Steam.
It's not on Steam?
No.
Whatever. Stocky sent me a link.
Speaking of which, I had no idea Twitch had a list of banned games, and I want to start a petition to bring back one of them. Genital jousting is actually banned on Twitch. I'm not making that up.
I'm shocked that's even a game.
Yeah, that's the most shocking thing I've heard all day.
I never even heard of that. I didn't know this either.
Here you go. I'll show it to you right here. This is the list via Twitch's official website of the banned games. Let me give it to you guys. Here you go. Via Twitch. Okay. Some of them make sense, right? But I'm gonna be honest with you. Cuckold Simulator. I could see how that might actually bring in some good stuff. Genital jousting. I think ethic cleansing is probably good to keep off. Harem party. I mean, come on now. I mean, that could be good. I think if they just edit it a little bit.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Which trainer?
Oh my
Not
God,
sure
bro!
about
Some of
that.
these are not.
S my D or died. Not good.
Dude, most of these are terrible, bro.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what
the
some of this stuff
maiden
means.
rape assault violent semen inferno. What?
Wait, the maiden.
Some people pay for that.
What?
Oh my
House
God.
party? I mean, I told you on stream today.
No,
Alex, you asked me about why I don't go to parties. Look, they're even banned.
Wait, no. The best one though on this list, Stocky. This is exactly what you'd have to play. Not on Twitch, just sometime. It's called "What's Under Your Blanket."
Do you know that somebody sent me the first ever Steam game gift I got as a streamer was Shower with Your Dad?
Oh,
Shower with Your Dad simulator.
That's
Not
banned,
making that
I
up.
guess.
It's still in my.
You
It's
could
still.
play this.
It's not installed, but apparently it's there. Rinse and repeat. That's an interesting title. I don't know what Sakura means, but there's a lot of things with Sakura on here.
I mean, that's like a hibachi place here.
The guy game. I mean, I'm a guy. Well, I want to play a game. What's under your blanket?
What's
My
under
question
your
is,
blanket?
it's not what's under your blanket question mark. It's what's under your blanket exclamation point question mark.
Shocking. And we're gonna be very surprised when we find out what's under your blanket.
I really think that genital jousting shouldn't be on this list. That's just me.
D, this is the end of the episode where we get to hear a random rant. Usually it's Stocky, but if you have a random rant, now's the time to just absolutely pop off on whatever the hell is grinding your gears, in the words of Peter Griffin. So now's the time.
All right, I forgot that I was supposed to be thinking.
Well, listen, there's got to be something that's pissed you off lately that you wanted to go off on.
Anger in your eyes when you said that, like Stocky's like, I got a pile of like 3 dozen things.
I got a whole filing cabinet back here. There's got to be something that's pissing you off. I'm sure that you have that chi life balance going on, but there's something you needed to get off, and you want to say it, but you're just not sure how it's going to be received. So I respect that. But just go off.
Oh man. Well, I guess I mean, a big part of my life, like Alex said, is fitness. So I guess my rant would be about just the amount of.
No. Start over. No guessing. Your rant is what is pissing you off?
Ooh.
It's the people
Get
at the
it
gym.
off, girl.
It's the people
Let
at the
it
gym.
go.
That's what she's thinking about. It's the people at the gym.
No.
You know? If you don't know how to work at a thing, ask somebody or get off. Or listen, if you don't clean your goddamn
Station.
I don't have to go and see your
That would
ball
be
sweat every
Josh's.
time I want to lay down. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Your turn.
Okay. I mean, his is that. Okay, I'll switch mine. Not fitness. But I think at Costco. All right, I love Costco, first of all. But you know what really pisses me off is people that stop it's my biggest pet peeve when people stop in the middle of a sidewalk or an aisleway, and it happens at Costco every single time. And they're wide aisles at Costco, but people will stop with their carts, or they'll have 3 people and they'll completely, with all 3 of their bodies, block the entire aisle, and you can't even get around. And I feel like it's ridiculous, again, because the aisles are so large. Everybody has a freaking large cart at Costco, so you got to let people around. And same thing, people on the sidewalk or at the mall where they have their full family or full group of friends, and they're blocking the entire thing. And those are the time I feel like I'm a nice person, but it drives me nuts. And so that's my passive aggressive times where I'll like bump them and I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. And then they realize, oh, I'm blocking the whole thing. That's my rant.
That's totally legit. That's especially because of how obnoxiously big the aisles are at Costco. It would seem impossible.
Every time.
Years.
It would seem.
The last time I went to
Love
Costco,
Costco.
I was super poor and broke, and I used to walk around and get free samples until I was full and leave.
That's the best.
So many free samples. Also, did you see the
no,
story?
I actually paid for a Costco membership through Groupon just so I could eat.
Did you see the story of the $1.50 hot dog? The founder, what the founder said to the CEO during all this inflation, D.
Oh.
So Costco has a $1.50 hot dog, and it's like been a signature menu item. It's always $1.50, and like it's just part of their brand or whatever. Inflation's obviously hitting everybody. We talked about how meat prices are the things that are actually, that's the grocery item that's impacted the most by inflation.
Yeah.
All meat costs are up 15%. So the founder sent a message, said to the CEO, he said, "You better not damn raise the cost of the fucking hot dog," is what he said. Like,
you know about Alex, you probably don't know about this, but a stock market account on Twitter, which is a meme account, started a rumor and said that they were going to start a rumor to show you how you should always verify before you trust, that due to inflation for the first time since the 80s, Costco's raising the price of the hot dog, and everybody knew it was in on it, and so a bunch of people retweeted it, and all the major news picked up on it, and everyone was freaking out, and the stock dropped and everything, and it turned out it was a fucking joke, and I was part of it. It was great. It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Yeah, so I guess
right, D, you're late. You got to go to your friends, and you got to live your happy life and not be like us. So you get out of here. Any final words from you, D? Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. Thank you guys very much for having me on. This was fun. We didn't get to one of the stories.
We didn't get to 5 of the stories. What story? What story?
The seagull poop. And I feel like we had a good transition because we were talking about poop in San Francisco, and then we could have segued right into seagull poop.
Yeah, we had this whole thing, seagulls and poop. That's right. We did have a natural transition. We're off our game on that.
I don't even know what the story is.
It's something about seagulls and pooping and Yo, guys, we're not gonna watch it here, but go Google the Stock Guy Seagull and everything. All of the content that you want the internet to produce for you on this beautiful day will be there. The search engine will yield the result you seek. The Stock Guy Seagull. Guys, thank you everybody for being here. This is episode 32 of the Stock Guy and Alex Show, the podcast that covers topics all around this world: business, news, markets, money, and sports. When people talk about it, so do we. This show can be watched and listened to on YouTube and Spotify. Follow the show on all the socials. And D, where can everyone find you?
You can find me, of course, on Twitch, BBXH, and then all my socials are on there: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube.
What is with the donuts?
It just started, and I was trying to say the word donate because people have a donate button on Twitch, and I just kept saying donut. I was extremely
angry there. I'm sorry. I don't know why there was so much passion, but I just always wanted to ask. I'm like, but you're in such good shape. You don't obviously eat that many donuts. So I'm like, what is that? Are you making fun of fat people? Like, what is going on here?
It's just myself trying to say the word donate and accidentally saying donut so many times. So I'm like, it's a donut theme. That's
Alex, stop it. Don't judge me, okay? I just had to get it out. All right. D, thank you so much for coming on. You were amazing. Hopefully you've left here with less hate in your heart, as I try to do, but I always end up with more hate. Alex, by the way, guys, by the time we see him next, he'll have a little shit running around.
Yeah, this little boy is going to be, he should have been induced today, but that's why we were able to do an episode.
We had a podcast, and
we were able to do an episode this week because Ozzy's not here yet. Guys, make sure you go follow D on all the socials everywhere. Twitch.tv/BBXH. She's live every single morning. Usually with me, we're playing Sea of Thieves. So go watch.
If you want some positivity in the morning before you come and listen to my ass, go see her, okay?
Yeah, D is the queen of the seas, guys. Go hang out with D. And we will see y'all next week. D, thank you for being here this week.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
One love, everybody. Bye, bye, bye.